HarperCollins presents Athabasca by Alistair MacLean, read by Mark Meadows. Chapter 1. "This," said George Dermot, "is no place for us." He eased his considerable bulk back from the dining table and regarded the remains of several enormous lamb chops with disfavor. "Jim Brady expects his field operatives to be lean, fit, and athletic. Are we lean, fit, and athletic?" "There are desserts," Donald Mackenzie said. Like Dermot, he was a large and comfortable man, with a rugged, weather-beaten face, a little larger and a little less comfortable. Observers often took him and his partner for a pair of retired heavyweight boxers. "I can see cakes, cookies, and a wide variety of pastries," he went on. "You read their food brochure? Says that the average man requires at least 5,000 calories a day to cope with Arctic conditions. But we, George, are not average men. 6,000 would do better in a pinch. Nearer 7 would be safer, I'd say. Chocolate mousse and double cream?" "He had a notice about it on the staff bulletin board," Dermot said wryly. "Heavy black border, for some reason. Signed, too." "Senior operatives don't look at staff boards," Mackenzie sniffed. He heaved his 220 pounds erect and headed purposefully for the food counter. There was no doubt that BP's Ohio did extremely well by their staff. Here at Prudhoe Bay, on the bitter rim of the Arctic Ocean in midwinter, the spacious, light, and airy dining room with multicolored pastel walls backdropping the recurrent five-pointed star motif, was maintained at a pleasantly fresh 72 degrees by the air-conditioned central heating. The temperature difference between the dining room and the outside world was 105 degrees Fahrenheit. The range of excellently cooked food was astonishing. "Don't exactly starve themselves up here," he said, as he returned with a mousse for each of them and a pitcher of heavy cream. "I wonder what any of the old Alaskan sourdoughs would have made of it." The first reaction of a prospector or trapper of yesteryear would have been that he was suffering from hallucinations. All in all, it was hard to say what feature he would have found the most astonishing. 80% of the items on the menu would have been unknown to him. But he would have been still more amazed by the 40-foot swimming pool and the glassed-in garden, with its pine trees, birches, plants, and profusion of flowers that abutted on the dining room. "God knows what the old boy would have thought," said Dermot. "You might ask him, though." He indicated a man heading in their direction. "Jack London would have recognized this one right away." Mackenzie said, "More the Robert Service type, I'd say." The newcomer certainly wasn't of current vintage. He wore heavy felt boots, moleskin trousers, and an incredibly faded mackinaw, which went well enough with the equally faded patches on the sleeves. A pair of sealskin gloves was suspended from his neck, and he carried a coonskin cap in his right hand. His hair was long and white, and parted in the middle. He had a slightly hooked nose and clear blue eyes with deeply entrenched crow's feet, which could have been caused by too much sun, too much snow, or a too highly developed sense of humor. The rest of his face was obscured by a magnificent grizzled beard and mustache, both of which were at that moment rimed by droplets of ice. The yellow hard hat swinging from his left hand struck a jarring note. He stopped at their table, and from the momentary flash of white teeth, it could be assumed that he was smiling. "Mr. Dermot, Mr. Mackenzie." He offered his hand. "Finlayson, John Finlayson." Dermot said, "Mr. Finlayson, Field Operations Manager's office?" "I am the Field Operations Manager." He pulled out a chair, sat, sighed, and removed some ice particles from his beard. Yes, I know. Hard to believe." He smiled again, gestured at his clothing. "Most people think I've been riding the roads. You know,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?